Hello and welcome to my presentation. This is about Islam and Jerusalem. My question is, to which extent does Islam have claim to Jerusalem? Some quick background info of Jerusalem in the current day. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel and the biggest city with the highest population. In 1947, the British mandate the people in power of the area where Israel is now, which they got from the Ottoman Empire after World War II, was coming to an end. This was because of ongoing conflicts in the area. So they were letting many Jews enter the area and wished to create two states there. Something else that's important to know is that in 1948, the Arab-Israeli War started. But the Israelis won. The war was between the State of Israel and the military coalition of the Arab states. So, today, in Jerusalem, there's 801,000 people. So let's move on. We've had many sources that we're going to look at. Three key sources. The first is the professor of Arabic at Bar-Ilan University. And this source is very biased. He's pro-Israeli, Dr. Murhidesh Kadir. The video debate was an interview documentation, and it aired on the TV network Al Jazeera. The intended audience was Arabic viewers. The value is that we can understand what someone who thinks Jerusalem does not belong to Arabs and why they think that. The limitation is that we get only one-sided argument. Nobody's arguing against him, only someone is asking him questions. So, what were his arguments? What did we learn from this source? Well, Jerusalem has been the capital of Israel for 3,000 years. Remember, this is all according to him. He says Jerusalem is not mentioned in the Quran. He believes that there is no discussion. Jerusalem belongs to the Jews. He also says that the Arabs had wrecked the city until 1967, and now it is a blooming city. Jerusalem is open to Christians, Muslims, and Jews, which it was never under the Islamic rule. He also says there's no sovereignty over the West Bank, and no state has ever had sovereignty there. Therefore, nobody can say it's an occupied territory. Not that the West Bank is under Israeli rule. He adds that it does not belong to anyone else and gives Israel the right to build whatever they want. That was what he thought. And our second source is Sheikh Abdul Hadi Pahlavi. He's a good source because he's the head of the Muslim community and Secretary General of the Italian Muslim Assembly. And he's the co-founder and co-chairman of the Islam-Israeli Fellowship, which is based on what Pahlavi believes are the authentic teachings of Muhammad. This is the Prophet Muhammad. The fellowship is Arab-Israeli peace projects, and the project it promotes peace and understanding among Arabs and Israelis. So he has the knowledge he needs and is less biased than my other sources. So the origin, it was a video interview, part of a documentary. It was posted on YouTube by the New York Middle East Institute. The purpose? Well, the intended audience was both Jews and Muslims and anyone who wants the knowledge of the conflict. Abdul is trying to create peace by using what he believes to be facts and evidence. So, the value, again, this had a lot of value as it is a Muslim semi-defending the Jewish rights. This is not that easy to find. But of course, the limitation is also there that this is his interpretation of Islam. If you ask someone else, they'll have a different interpretation. So what does he say? What is he telling us? Well, he's claiming that Arabs living inside Israeli territory are Palestinian and they form a specific nationality is something that has no ethnic or historic basis, but instead is based on race and politics. So, Palestinians don't exist, basically. Arabs have the right to live in Israel, but should also abide by the local law. He thinks that Arabs should live there, in Israel if they abide the local law. So as long as an Arab abides the law, they should have the right to live in Israel. Even the Quran says that God gave the land to the Jewish people. So when the Prophet Muhammad ascended from the Dome of Rock, which is in Jerusalem, it was not under Islamic rule, but rather under Christian rule, under a bishop. He quotes, or I'm quoting him, "There is no such thing as a Palestinian people, rather Arab people. Palestine was originally a name for a geographical area," he continues. So, a Jew who lives in Israel is Palestinian, and the same for Arabs, and the Arabs that live in Jordan is Palestinian too. Today, because of political consideration, there is this sense of a Palestinian national identity which is completely artificial. This is another good view. We now will move on to our last source, source 3, Ahmed Deedat. So he's a scholar, he's a Muslim missionary, and a public speaker. He is, of course, biased for Muslims, but he seems like a good source because he does not speak badly of other religions. So the origin, it was a debate. The intended audience was mainly Muslims and other debaters, but can be used for anyone else interested in the Muslim perspective. The debate was made to show how Israel did not belong to Jews. Value. It gives a great insight to Muslim point of view and how they could actually live side by side with the Jews. Limitation. Since nobody's debating against him, the limitation is what we only get one perspective. However, he does refer to previous debates. In Judaism, so his points were that in Judaism they believed the Prophet said that Palestine was theirs. Now remember I said before Palestine did not exist according to previous source. Well, this is a new source, so Palestine is still what we usually think of. In the book of Deuteronomy, part of the Jewish Torah, it says that if what the prophet said has not come to pass, then God had not spoken it. So, according to the Jewish holy books, if the prophet has told you something, but it has not happened, then God did not say that. So, in the same place, it also says that a prophet can speak presumptuously. In Islam, this is not true, as Muslims believe that prophets are mouthpieces of God. What Allah wants is what the prophet can say. So, if Abraham, you know Abraham from the Judaism and Islam and also Christianity, was promised the land of Palestine by God, but he didn't own a single piece of land, therefore not received the promise. The holy books say this. Then Ahmed argues, therefore, this was not a promise of God. God promised the land to Abraham and his seeds. Of course, the Jews were the seeds of Abraham, but they were not the only ones. Ishmael, ancestor to the Prophet Muhammad, is mentioned 12 times in the book of Genesis. Ishmael is described as a seed of Abraham, and it also says in the book of Genesis that because he is a seed of Abraham, he will have a great nation. This means that Arabs are also seeds of Abraham. Ahmed then says, since they're both seeds of Abraham, why can't they live together in peace and harmony as brothers? Ahmed refers to previous debates where his opponent says, we had this country, we possessed it under David and Solomon, so we are entitled to it. To this, Ahmed asks who they got it from. How did they get it? Ahmed says that they took the land by force. If force entitles them to that country because David and Solomon had it, then Islamists should be entitled to Spain because Muslims ruled there for 300 years. Then Ahmed asks, if they had the force, does it give them the right to go back and claim it? Does it give the right to the Muslims to go back to Spain and claim it? So, for Jerusalem, the Jews got it from force, and it entitles them to Palestine. Then the Arabs have the right to take it back too by force. So, what do we learn from this? Well, we just looked at our three previous sources. I personally don't think there's a right side. Rather, based on the sources, I conclude that both sides have valid reasons for being in the area, and the only reason they're there is because of force and violence. They need to end the violence. For there to be a peace, a joint Palestine must be made for both Arabs and Jews, living side by side in peace and harmony. Thank you. If you wish to research this further, I suggest you go and watch these videos.